Hi, welcome to AP Daily. My name is Greg Hill, and I teach at Dr. John D. Horn High School in Mesquite, Texas. Today, we're going to talk about topic 2.5, the demographic transition model. What will we learn? The demographic transition allows for us to see the transition or the evolution of a population over time. But first, some numbers. When we look at demographic transition, we have to look at the crude birth rate, CBR, or the number of births per 1,000, along with the crude death rate, or CDR, which is the number of deaths per 1,000. When we take the difference between the crude birth rate from the crude death rate, that gives us the rate of natural increase, also known as the natural increase rate. Stage 1, low growth. This is where you have a period of extremely high crude birth rates due to cultural preferences and a lack of contraceptives. You also have to figure in the fact that countries in stage 1 also have a high rate of infant mortality. Countries also in stage 1 tend to be more hunter gatherer and agrarian, and so there is a need to have more kids to help bring in the harvest. Countries in stage 1 also have to deal with extremely high crude death rates. This is due to a lack of sanitation. You can't take out the trash, a lack of medicine, animal attacks, famine from locust attacks and other things, and also war. Countries in this stage have very low natural increase rates because of the extremely high crude birth rates minus the extremely high crude death rates equal out to a very low natural increase rate. Stage 2 countries are in high growth. They still enjoy extremely high crude birth rates. This is due to innovations of the Industrial Revolution, which led to greater food security, advances in medicine such as antibiotics. You also have falling crude death rates, such as increased sanitation. Little Jimmy can now take out the trash. You can dispose of it in a very careful manner. You also have increased life expectancy and through better nutrition, falling infant mortality rates. This is the area of highest natural increase. Stage 3, moderate growth. Countries in this stage have falling crude birth rates. This can be attributed to more women entering the workforce, more women attaining higher educational achievement, improved economics. This lessens the need for more children. Also, with rising urbanization, there's less space for large families. Couple this with falling crude death rates. You have further advances in medicine, further increasing life expectancy, and you have an even increasing falling infant mortality rate. You have a moderate natural increase rate. Stage 4, low growth. Countries in stage 4 have very low crude birth rates. This can be attributed to women delaying marriage or not being married at all. Women also seek to further their career and educational aspirations. There's an increased use of contraceptives and also in family planning. Countries in this stage also have lower crude death rates. With higher incomes, this helps to lead to greater health outcomes. Countries in this stage have more disposable income to spend on preventative medicine. What this leads to a natural increase rate near or below zero. So what does this tell us? When you take the low birth rates with the low death rates, this leads to either zero population growth or a falling or declining population. Stage 5, negative growth. This is a fairly new one to the demographic transition model. Countries in stage 5 have extremely low birth rates. This can be attributed to couples choosing to not have kids or couples choosing later in life to either get married and or have children. The birth rates start to fall well below the death rates. At the same time, you have rising crude death rates. Death rates start to creep above birth rates as increased urbanization leads to more and more people together and introducing a return of infectious diseases. This leads to negative population growth. Let's look at an example. China is in stage 4. How so? Thanks to its one child policy, which wasn't necessarily a law, but a strong social recommendation. This policy led to China having a skewed sex ratio of 114 males for every 100 females. So in China, there will be millions of men who will possibly never find a mate. What does this lead to is a lowering of the crude birth rate. You can add to the fact that during this one child policy, many Chinese women felt comfortable without having children at all. This led to what I call the Chinese women's revolution, where Chinese women are choosing to delay getting married, furthering their educations, and furthering their careers. As a manufacturing and commercial center, China can devote more of its wealth to maintain health, lowering its crude death rate. Let's practice. Using the chart above, which of the following countries is best described as being at stage 3 of the demographic transition model? Pause the video now if you need to think about it. The answer is Bolivia. Now, a lot of people would look at China as saying the right answer, but again, as we move back to our previous slides, China's at stage 4, whereas Bolivia is right in the threshold of being a stage 3 country. What should we take away? Although a model, not perfect, the demographic transition model allows us as geographers to look at changes in a country's crude birth rates coupled with its crude death rates over time. I want to give a special shout out to the Tigers at Columbia High School in Lake City, Florida, and teacher Lindsay Ragsdale. This has been AP Daily. My name is Greg Hill, and thank you very much. Hi, and welcome to AP Daily. My name is Greg Hill, and I teach at Dr. John D. Horn High School in Mesquite, Texas. Today, we're going to finish talking about topic 2.5, the demographic transition model. In this video, we'll discuss how the epidemiological transition model explains causes of changing death rates. What will we learn? When we're looking at transition models, such as the epidemiological transition model, we look at how populations evolve over time. This helps us to describe changes in population based on mortality. In stage 1, here we have pestilence and famine. Infectious and parasitic diseases, such as those associated with contact with human and animal waste, are pretty prevalent. You also have crop failure due to climatic events, locust infestations, and other reasons. You're also susceptible to animal attacks. A couple of phrases I want to introduce that are very important to the study of epidemiology. First, endemic. Endemic diseases pretty much stay in a local area. Epidemics spread through the region and start to infect the neighboring region. Pandemics. These spread across wide swaths of the geography or from one region to the next. A key thing to remember is the word pan means across. So I'd like to tell my students that it means across regions. In this stage, you have high crude death rates. A great example of this would be the bubonic plague. Stage 2, receding pandemics. This is associated with things like improved sanitation, better nutrition that is coupled with food security by way of improved agricultural practices, and advances in medicine. Pandemics are still a slight issue. At the same time, you have increased life expectancy as more and more people are starting to live longer. Stage 3, degenerative diseases. Here you have fewer infectious disease deaths with increased antibiotic use, increased sanitation. You have a rise in diseases associated with aging, such as cancer, strokes, and heart disease. Countries in stage 3 enjoy longer life expectancies and at the same time lower death rates. Here is where we have some of the largest population growth. Stage 4, delayed degenerative and lifestyle diseases. Here we have some of the best medical advances in human history. They are used to extend life expectancy to its highest. Countries in stage 4 have better diets, often attributed to better economies and better incomes, especially disposable incomes for their citizens, and a reduced use of tobacco. Here in stage 4, life expectancy is at its highest. There is one problem that's often associated with higher incomes, and at the same time, commercialization of agriculture is the consumption of junk food and sedentary lifestyles. Stage 5, reemergence of infectious diseases. I like to call this the return of the plague, or the plague strikes back. Here, infectious and parasitic diseases make a dramatic return. A lot of this has to do with the overuse of antibiotics. Diseases start to mutate and become resistant to antibiotics. Rising urbanization leads to greater contact among populations, leading to a greater potential of infectious spread. In stage 5, you have a slight lowering of the life expectancy. So let's practice. The United States. Life expectancy in the United States is starting to creep up towards 90. We have new treatments for debilitating diseases. There's a huge national focus on the diet. Cigarette smoking has become taboo, but we do have concerns with the intake of sugars and fats. So where does that put the United States? Think about it for a minute. That's right, that puts us in stage 4. So what should we take away? The epidemiological transition model helps to explain changes in mortality for a country. I want to give a special shout out to the writers at Roosevelt High School in Seattle, Washington, and teacher Rick Katz. My name is Greg Hill, and this has been AP Daily. Thank you.